When it comes to social media, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, anywhere that you're consuming social media, there are a lot of financial influencers on there. And unfortunately, some of the information that they might provide is not really sound advice. Today's video, we're going to be looking through that, guys. And I have seen some very interesting things out there, again, when it comes to social media and when it comes to finance. Number one, a lot of people are saying ignore your budget. Some are saying that budgets are unnecessary, that budgets are very restrictive. But however, when you look at big picture, when you look at financial education, financial literacy, budgets are the financial really tool to understanding where your money is going. This again, a lot of people are saying budgets are garbage, they're outdated, you don't need it, you don't need a spending plan, you don't need anything in relation to how much money is coming in, how much money is going out, and exactly where you do land at the end of the month. Now with that, guys, I know budgets can be a little bit tedious. Now with the advancements that we've seen with technology, makes it a lot easier to track your spending. You can literally just connect an application to your bank account. It will import all of the information that's on there, even break it up into categories so you know exactly how much money is coming in and how much is going out. Now, this, of course, is fundamental when it comes to a couple different points. Number one being the ability to repay debt is huge, guys, because you have to know exactly what you have at the end of the month. Also, number two, guys, if you're planning your future, so if you want to take a vacation, if you want to retire, if you're sending kids to school, if you're saving for a down payment for a new car, for a new home, you have to know exactly how much you can really put away before you start putting it away. Because what I normally see is people say, okay, I want to put $100 into this savings account every single paycheck. Well, they cannot afford to put away $200 per month into a savings account. And what happens is it might build up for a month or two, and then they dip into the savings, might build up a couple more months, they dip into the savings. They make it incredibly easy not only to access the funds, but because they are not budgeting properly or don't have a plan of where the money is going, they're dipping right back into it. Now, number two, avoiding credit completely. Now, this I have seen firsthand over and over again, guys. There are a lot of individuals that are pay cash for everything. Make sure you pay cash, only pay cash, never borrow. Could be true, but overall, guys, credit is way more important than just the ability to borrow money. When you look at, colleges, when you look at getting an apartment, when you look at if you do have to borrow money for anything, if you want to get a home, if you're looking for a job, credit is imperative, guys. People do pull credit, and most financial institutions, most companies do pull credit for products and services, which means it's going to be very important. A lot of people, even with no credit, cannot rent an apartment. I've seen some hurdles with this personally with some individuals where we're at, that because they had no credit score, because they had no credit history, they would not rent to individuals because there was nothing established. Now, of course, this, guys, you have to be very cautious with building your credit and building up good credit. A positive credit score will literally set you up better for the rest of your life. Again, when it comes to loans, when it comes to renting an apartment, when it comes to jobs, credit is important. So living on a cash-only system can work, and absolutely 100% can work. Even if you have, let's say, one simple credit card with a very low limit, you use it for one specific thing or one purchase per month, paying it off with cash, living the rest of your life entirely in cash, you will still have a great credit score. You will have a high credit score. And that, of course, is the basis of what everybody bases loans on. So if you have super limited credit, let's say you only have that $500 credit card, but you have a perfect payment history for a number of years, even though you have limited credit, you will still have an amazing score in that case. So if anyone does access your credit score, you are going to have a really good score. Number three, investing without research. Now, guys, blindly following the investment advice of people on social media, do your research. You have to understand the underlying risk. You have to really understand the potential risk and how much money you could lose, guys. When it comes to investing, my number one rule that I always stick to, and I recommend everybody doing this as well, guys, is never invest more than you can possibly lose. So that means, you don't want to be borrowing to invest. You don't want to be putting up a bunch of money, especially if it is speculative. Now, what we say with this, even now, is kind of the cryptocurrency is depending what you're putting your money into, guys. You have to do your research. You have to know exactly what it is going into, what kind of return you're looking at. And again, when you look at social media, people are saying, oh, well, I can do a side hustle and make $10,000 a week. It's absolutely easy. You need no money down. You don't have to do anything. Literally $10,000 in passive income every single week. If that was honestly the case, we would all be millionaires and money would have no absolute purpose whatsoever because everybody could just make $10,000 a week. And I see this on a lot of ads. I see it in a lot of different social media saying, borrow money to do this, or borrow from here to repay this debt. Guys, debt is debt. You have to repay debt. You got to get rid of it. And if it comes to that investing piece, you have to know what you're doing. I know I do investing on this channel. And again, really take it with a grain of salt, guys. I do a lot of research. I go through and see a lot of the risk potential. I really do weigh a lot of that out when it does come to the investing side, but make sure you are not relying 100% on people that you're seeing on social media when it comes to investing advice without doing your own research. Number 4, relying on a single source of income. Now, if you've ever been laid off, if you've ever had job loss, if you've ever had on strike, just like we've seen up here with the big 3, relying solely on one single item can absolutely be detrimental when it comes to your finances. Diversifying the income stream is really, I mean, probably in the last 10 or 15 years, this has been a 100% priority for a majority of people, as having some sort of a side hustle. And I think even now, it is almost 50% of Americans have some sort of diversified income or some sort of second income stream. It can really stabilize and protect you versus a unexpected job loss. Somebody passes in a family, let's say, you're married and your spouse is working, you're not. Either way, if you lose one income or have to go to one income, it can really set you up for financial success, having that second income stream, because it can slow the process down. What I mean by that, guys, is when it comes to paying your bills, when it comes to the monthly expenses, this is going to kind of offset some of those expenses that are coming for job loss. Might not make up for 100% of the income, but you can definitely rely on some of that income. Now, number 5, prioritizing saving over high interest debt. Again, this is one that I see on a regular basis, which does not make sense to me, guys. I have people that are coming and putting money into CDs at 5%, yet they're paying 25% on credit cards. To me, it is just absolutely mind-blowing. You have to prioritize paying off the debt, guys. The debt is always going to be more expensive, especially when it comes to high interest debt. When you start looking at credit cards, it very, very quickly will outpace whatever benefit you're getting from savings. Even looking at investing, looking at high yield savings, looking at savings accounts, looking at CDs, the high interest debt has to go before you save anything, guys. Literally, the way to look at this, and again, fundamentally, every dollar that you're putting into that high interest debt at, let's say, a 25% interest, you are saving 25%. That is right, guys. There is not an investment that I know that is going to pay you 25%. Not only is it going to improve your credit score, it's going to lower your monthly payment, but you're going to pay down and eliminate that debt. It is really the biggest thing you want to focus on, guys. High interest debt cannot carry and cannot continue, guys. We're almost $1.1 trillion in credit card debt with an average rate of 22 to 25%, which is absolutely crazy. Number 6, we talk about timing the market. Now, we know from one of my absolute favorite financial advisors or coaches, developers, investments, whatever, the overall timing the market is impossible. You might think you got it. You might be a perfect time to buy, might be a perfect time to sell. It is super challenging, even when it comes to AI, when it comes to automatic investing, even when it comes to investment advisors that have 20, 30, 40 years of experience. Timing the market is near impossible for anyone. That is the reason why time in the market makes a big difference, guys. Going through and putting more money into the market on a regular basis, just like I do with the dollar cost averaging, we're putting $1,000 in every single week, regardless if the market is up, regardless of the market is down, and we're keeping that for probably 10 to 15 years in there. So not only are we going to see the contributions in there that grow over time, we're going to see the dividends that come in, and we're essentially going to see this growth snowball that is starting to accumulate, guys. We're already, I believe, north of $80,000, which we're going to look at in our next video, but it is definitely getting there. Number 7, keep a large cash reserve. This is having an emergency fund is essential. Anything above the cash reserve or that emergency fund can be very detrimental. That means that you're missing out on investments, you're missing out on opportunity. Make sure there is a good balance between the liquidity that you're keeping with that emergency fund and what you have investing. So again, what I see for a lot of individuals is they can just have a basic savings account. That basic savings account has $180,000 in there, it might be earning 1 or 2%. But overall, when you factor in inflation, when you factor in the buying power of the US dollar that continues to depreciate, the consumer price index that continues to increase, it is going to outpace the money that you have in there. So essentially parking a large amount of money into savings accounts short of that emergency fund is just going to be a losing battle. Now with that also, the emergency fund needs to sit in a high yield savings account, guys. A lot of places have even 5% for a high yield savings account. I have a link down below for M1 Finance. That is my high yield savings account that I've showed you in some of the videos. It is yielding a 5% return, which is absolutely amazing. And that is where I keep and I house the emergency fund that me and my wife do carry. And number 8, ignoring insurance, guys. A lot of people skip insurance to save money. However, it is a really big wealth building tool, is protecting what you have. So what I mean by that, guys, is when you get a loan, they have credit life insurance, they have credit disability insurance, they have gap insurance, they have mechanical repair coverage. A lot of these insurances, a majority of people just skip. But if anything should happen, not only can it, you stop making your payment, you don't have enough if you're injured at work, your credit score is going to be ruined. You could be looking at repossession. You could be looking at a lot of significant life events. When you look at illness, when you look at accident, when you look at property damage, this is the reason you have insurance, guys. I know a lot of people don't budget to it. I know a lot of people do not like it. But if you want to not only build wealth, but you want to create and insure and protect your long-term wealth, you have to carry insurance, guys. Number 9, negotiating your salary. This is another one, guys. You have to negotiate the salary. Most of the time that an employer offers you a position, a negotiation means you leave money on the table. When you're going from one job to another job, market research shows understanding your net worth, your experience, your education, all of the factors in there to know exactly what your compensation is going to be and what you're looking for when you take a position. Now, interesting enough, a majority of employers are now required in some states to show these salary ranges. This is something that's kind of crazy that it's just coming to light in 2023, that now we're starting to require positions to have salary ranges associated with them. Before, they kept it in the dark. Employers could pay you whatever because there was no public knowledge of what the salary ranges were. There were a lot of sites that could estimate exactly what it was, but to know exactly what the range is, definitely a game changer in there, guys. And then, of course, the get rich quick schemes, like we talked about before, guys. Any scheme that promises very quick wealth, very high generation, very minimal to no effort. If it seems too good to be true, which pretty much every single one of them do, that is it, guys. Financial success requires patience, discipline, careful planning. When you think of investing, it is probably one of the most boring things you'll ever see. That is the reason, guys, why I talk about automating the investing. If you look at your budget, you build it out properly, you say, okay, once the debt is paid off, I can put $200 in a paycheck, set it for that 200, set it and forget it, let it go into the account, let the dollar cost averaging work, let the compounding interest work. It is really, again, the true way to wealth creation and building it for a long term when it comes to retirement. When it comes to things that you have financial goals, you will achieve them by automating your finances, guys. And trust me, I have seen it work for an incredible amount of people. So, all right, guys, so that's going to do it for today's video. If you like the content that I'm putting out, consider subscribing down to the channel, and I'll catch you in the next video.